Style Elements Monster Squad.
We all freak different styles. So originally that was the thing, to be able to freak what you do, no matter if it's graph, no matter if it's playing an instrument, no matter where, if it's like, yo, dancing the pennies on the ground. We were going to bring it to you in any and every way that we could, you know, to every element of the culture. So basically Style Elements, that's what it stands for.
The whole crew is coming from different backgrounds, you know, in that aspect that everybody kind of brought in a little bit to motivate each other.
As far as the importance of style, like every element of hip-hop is based on originality, is based on having your own style, like putting yourself out there. If you're not really being yourself and being true to yourself and trying to mimic something that you think it represents, then like you're not really grasping like what this whole culture is about.
The beauty of having a crew where everyone has their own style is that it's not so you all stand out, it's so you all help each other grow.
We're going to represent where we're from as far as our timeline.
Everybody is from a different era of the 90s or the 80s or the 2000s. We don't try to mimic each other's style.
A lot of us, when we dance, what we're presenting is not only a series of steps, but a piece of who we are and giving you a stamp of that time of where we come from.
One of the major rules, unwritten rules, is you gotta have style. You gotta have flavor with everything you do. That's the only written rule in hip-hop in general.
This is a community, there's inspiration involved, there's a lot of power in this culture that if we utilize it right, could make like a lot of positive change too. So we're working on all aspects.
We're just trying to reconnect and do what we love, actually, as individuals, do what we love and share that with each other.
If I have any advice to anybody, don't limit yourself.
Be yourself, simple as that. Like if you can look in the mirror and say like, you know what I mean? You know when you're doing something that's genuine and something that's fake. So be real, you know what I mean? Be yourself. Don't be afraid of what people think. If you enjoy it, if you are about it, let it out on the dance floor. By biting, by copying someone else, you're actually disrespecting the dance.
My biggest advice is just remember, just lose yourself in the music. Just remember to keep it fun. Don't get caught up in, I gotta impress a community, my family, or so-and-so. Just as long as you're happy and it's making you happy, keep doing it.
Learn the foundation. Learn where all this comes from. Learn your culture. Like this is a culture. This is like a way of life for all of us.
The more you see of what people have done, the more you can know of what they haven't done. And when you know that space of what they haven't done, it creates this free space for you to create your own style.
If people doubt us or you're asking questions or whatever, go to a circle. Meet us on the dark corner of a club next to the speaker, and you'll see what it's really about.
Yeah. Welcome to Style Elements Crew's 26th anniversary. I am your host, Spirit Realmer. And if that intro didn't get you hyped, I don't know what will. We are streaming live on Style Elements Crew's YouTube and Facebook, as well as live on Stance. If you have not subscribed to the Style Elements Crew YouTube channel yet, please do so at youtube.com/StyleElementsTV. Follow us on Facebook.com/StyleElementsCrew and on Instagram at Style Elements Crew. And of course, stay connected with us on our website, StyleElementsCrew.com, as we share our past, present, and future with all of you. This is the rundown for the SEC 26 Day 1. We're going to have a discussion panel, Powermove Battle Prelims, 1v1 Break-In Prelims, and we're ending Day 1 off with a Powermove battle to claim our SEC 26 Powermove Cypher Champion. Shout out to all the SEC 26 sponsors: Sixth Step, Pro Breaking Tour, UDEP, Stance, Tribal Gear, Originality Stands Alone, Bump Box, Hint Water, and Little Box of Hope. Alright, let's get Day 1 started and kick it off with the panel. I'm going to pass it over to the panelist host, Midus from Style Elements Crew. But first, let's take a good look at the man and get familiar. Check this out.
Peace. What's going on? Thank you for rocking with us. 26 years of Style Elements. We appreciate everybody tuning in, coming to celebrate not only the crew, but the whole culture of hip hop, the dance of breaking, the dances of popping, locking, all the hip hop freestyle, all the stuff that we represent as a crew and that the community represents as a whole. We're, we're honored to have you guys participate as dance musicians, viewers, as adherents, as enthusiasts. And today, we have, another big part of Style Elements as a crew has always been building not only as dancers, but as hip hop heads. And today we have a dope panel. Back in the 90s, especially, a lot of the jams that were provided for us had panels for us to come dialogue as a community. And we wanted to provide, something similar for today's generation in these times and for us as well. And we're honored to have a really distinguished panel of people with us today. Some contributors who have made major impacts on the dance and the culture overall. So with no further ado, I want to give a little bit of a quick introduction coming from my perspective, and then I'm going to pass it on to them. They're going to introduce themselves, and we're just going to have a little bit of a, powwow, a round table, talking about some things related to the culture. So thank you for rocking us with us once again. So, first up, we got Thesis.
Yo.
I've known for a while personally, and I want to just say a few things about how I first met Thesis, man. First time I remember meeting Thesis, and again, I'm going to pass it to each of you guys to give a little background of who you are, what you represent. But 2005, I remember going to Arizona, originally from Los Angeles, going to Arizona and entering a battle, and ended up going against Thesis. I don't know if you remember that, but Thesis beat me in that battle, man. We had a little tiebreaker in the competition.
It's called Street Dreams. It's called Street Dreams.
Street Dreams, exactly. Yeah. And I didn't know who this young kid was, but I did right away, even before I entered that. I heard people talking about you and stuff, and I was like, "Who's this kid?" And ended up beating me. But the thing that stood out to me is his humbleness at that age too. And I was like, "Damn, okay, this kid obviously has people talking about him, and he just took that battle against me at least, and he was like humble enough to not be cocky about it at all." I was like, all right, dope, And from then on, I've just had a lot of respect for you, bro. And us as a crew definitely have a lot of respect for you and what you represent as a dancer, as a person. So it's an honor to have you with us, man. And I know you're in the competition as well for this anniversary. So big respect to you. Next up, I want to introduce Abstrak. Again, man, what can I say about this brother right here? All I could say is innovator. You know what I mean? I feel like you have made a major contribution to the dance. I see, traces of you in dancers today all around the world. You know what I mean? So big respect. Like as a person, as myself, again, the first time I seen you, I want to say was like a video, like Out for Fame on video, and you were doing some stuff. I had to rewind. I was like, well, what did this dude just do right here? And then you guys ended up coming to LA for the Out for Fame finals, and I saw in person. I was just like, okay, dope. So thank you again, brother. It's good to have you here, and we look forward to dialoguing. Again, I want to give each of you guys, a chance to introduce yourselves, but this is my personal perspective introduction type thing. So next up, Zulu Gremlin. Again, another, I would say icon pillar in the game. You know what I mean? Not just breaking, but also hip hop. But when it comes to breaking specifically, I remember as a kid watching MTV one day, and they had a show called The Grind, and they had some breaking on the show. And Zulu Gremlin, who I didn't know Zulu Gremlin, but you were on that show, and later on I found out what your name was and stuff. But I remember you just killing it in that circle in that show, and not only killing it with breaking, but also doing some like popping and just dancing overall. And for me as a young person, it was like growing up in the 90s, it was like breaking was considered old school to our generation. We saw Beat Street and breaking, those movies where it was like something from the 80s, but here was like some heads on this show, even in that show they tried to present it like some 80s stuff, but it was like clearly a next level of dance style happening as far as not what we saw in those movies happening, and also dress style. And it just gave a big inspiration to me personally, like, yo, this is still happening, and it's still an art form that's evolving and elevating. And also the jams you threw in LA, Break Mania. I want to thank you for that, man. Like giving me personally a place to go and dance and see other dancers and meet other dancers. So I know you have a million contributions. Those are just my personal type of things you've done that have impacted me. So I want to, thank you for that, and look forward to conversating with you right now, brother. Much respect, much respect. And last but not least, we have Fever One, but he might be having some technical difficulties. I know he's trying to figure it out how to get on right now, but hopefully, he could get on. If not, we'll figure out some other way to tap in with them. And we want to do this panel to dialogue, but also pay respects at each Style Elements anniversary. We do try to honor people who have impacted the crew and impacted the culture. And this discussion is kind of like our way to do that today for you guys. You know what I mean? So again, it's an honor to have you guys. I want to give you guys each a chance to just introduce yourselves, kind of in the same order we just did. If you want to say like where you're from, your background, like what crews you represent, and maybe a little bit about how you got started, in a brief way, just to give some background on each person, your influences, your beginnings, type of thing. So, Thesis, you want to start us off, brother?
Yeah. My name's Theus Lopez. I go by Thesis. I'm from Knuckleheads, Cali, Massive Monkeys, Them Team, and Fresh Descendants. I live in Seattle right now. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I started out there in '98 with my family members, like my cousins and stuff like that. And the way I got into it is like my uncle and his brothers. They were already like into it, like same old shit, like watching Breakin', Beat Street, stuff like that. But they were more like poppers. And, I remember they always wanted me to like pop, but I kind of was just like, I don't know. I wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to break. I wanted to like hit the floor, So I was like, all right, cool. So I got, I just stuck to that. But I was first influenced off of breaking from street shows actually out here in Seattle when I was a kid. Before I moved back to my hometown, because I was back and forth. But before I moved back to my hometown. Tim, I pretty hella saw you cry.
Oh, I was just playing with your cat.
Oh, okay. Tim's over here. But anyway, I first saw Circle of Fire. They used to do street shows and shit. So the first b-boy I actually ever saw was Orb. And Orb was, obviously when you see like spins and shit on your head, you trip out when you're a kid. So I always got into it like on that tip. And then when I moved back to Tucson, that's when I got down with like my cousins and stuff like that, and pretty much it was the same shit. Just watching old school movies and all the VHSs and all that stuff. We just started from there, and then about 5 years into like not knowing so much knowledge or meeting a lot of people, I ended up linking up a spot called Scrappy's, and Scrappy's is like a legendary spot in Tucson where a lot of people came out of. Nate the Killer Robot, Paranoid Android, Eric from Soul Control. He moved there, and we kind of like grew from there. So those are like my three mentors as I was a kid growing up. It was like PA and Nate the Killer Robot and Eric. So growing up with like Sour Patch and stuff like that, that's when I was like introduced to like Style Elements and a lot more like just breakers with like an original approach. You know what I mean? Like a different way of thinking and a different way of creating. And ever since then, now I'm here just. Still fully inspired and just creating on my own. So, yep, that's where I'm at.
Word. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Abstrak, if you want to also just give a little background, and again, like lineage and history is important, so we want to just have each person share a little bit about themselves.
Word. First of all, appreciate you guys having me on here with you guys, especially because of the name Style Elements. I know has contributed so much to the scene. Even way before me. And I just want to say that. And I feel like even as far as like the leaders, which I don't know if they're still leaders now, but I'm just saying, for Style Elements, I think you guys, when I was trying to, I'm going to go back to the history of it, of me, like after, but I wanted to say this first because, you guys have me on here and I was like, me? Why would I be on this panel? So I appreciate that. And I think like, Riston and And Crumbs, for me, made it cool to be different, because there was a time where I was like trying different things and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like trying to bug out and, you know, come up with different things other than traditional. And I was being looked at, you know, weird, even from my own crew. And then when I did see them at Pro 97, I was like, oh, so it's cool to be different. All right, you know? So I just wanted to give that little soundbite.
Respect, man.
Different, but
That's big.
dope and fresh, you know what I'm saying? And innovative.
Yep.
So now going back, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I was dancing probably way back in '84. I actually have some footage of me doing some whack little backspin, whack little footwork. I'm trying to mix, backsliding with popping and waving. And excuse the noise. I don't know if it's too noisy. My grandfather just came in. But anyways, so yeah, since I was a kid, I was intrigued by breaking. You know, like my mom used to go. My mom had me when she was young. She was like 15, but she would always go out. You know, I would be with my grandmother. She would kind of come home and talk about like that. She see these people doing spinning moves. You know, like breaking. So she would see that, and I was like, man, what is she talking about? Until I was a little older, like maybe 7, and I was able to like be part of this a daycare center where there was kids like breaking. They were just doing footwork, and they were dope compared to whatever I've seen, you know. So that's kind of like how my journey started, and that led me into doing like impersonating Michael Jackson, being the only like Puerto Rican Michael Jackson in my public school at the time. We did a competition against other schools, and we actually won, which is hilarious. From there, there was a number of years that passed that I guess I stopped breaking. And I didn't start breaking again until I was like 17, 18, when I moved from New York to Tampa, Florida. I was like 15. No, yeah, I was 14. But I didn't really break until like I was 17. I was doing like techno house, really whack, you know. I thought I was doing something. But, not until I used to go to the spot in it was called Casablanca, and this guy was, they would play Spanish music throughout the whole night, and now I would wait for a specific time where they play freestyle music. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna dance, whatever I know how to do. And this guy was doing windmills, and I was like, wow, that's mad old. What is this guy doing? And then the funny thing is that a year later after that, which is like 94, 95, I got connected with this guy, Ryan Gonzalez from San Diego, California, I believe. And he only did he would do 100 jackhammers and drills and like at least one flare. But I wanted to incorporate that into what I was doing, whatever that was. From there, each member, every other 2 to 3 years, I would connect with different members of the crew, as far as me connecting with them in a brotherly level, and then us actually, starting from scratch. But yeah, I can go further into history later on. But yeah, that's kind of like my foundation of how I started in the way of movement and breaking.
Dope. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing all that. Yeah, we'll definitely build some more about people's legacy, people's history, influences and stuff. But yeah, I want to pass it to Zulu. Gremlin, man, I know your history is super deep. But yeah, if you could share a little bit about how you began and where you began, and anything else you want to share about your background.
Okay, sure. Well, in terms of my background, I think I'm the result of what happened before me. So my father's a drummer and my mother's an artist, and they were both street racers. And so I grew up in street racer culture. So my first affiliation is Street Racers of Los Angeles, San Gabriel Valley. And so I grew up in race car culture. So as a kid, all my first images are near a Triumph or a Harley, or near a muscle car, or maybe near a lowrider or something like that. And so I grew up instantly as a roadie for my father, because he's a drummer. He was playing, one of the groups he was playing with is called Cannibal and the Headhunters. They did a record that was very popular, Land of a Thousand Dances, that was put them on tour with Casey and the Sunshine Band in 1977. So as a young kid, I started living Holiday Inns all around the United States, mostly around Florida and Texas, where most of their tours, because they're the bigger states that have a lot of Holiday Inns. So that was my childhood was decorated with images of living in Holiday Inns, playing drums, being babysat by a keyboardist or a bass player or a guitarist. So I was very versed in music, so that's where my life begins. In terms of the dance, I mean, I was supposed to be a drummer, and I've always been dancing since I was a little kid. It was really to help people not ask my mother to dance while my father was playing. So she would force me to dance with her because men would ask her to dance. So I didn't like dancing at all. So I thought I was going to be a musician, but I got into race culture heavily throughout my childhood, raced BMX, raced motocross while I was participating in sports. And we moved to Denver, Colorado in 79, 80, because my father was doing a record out there with an artist named Leon Payne, a country artist. And that's when I met this guy, Maurice Williams, in Denver, in a city called Arvada. And he was really good at roboting and the backslide. And so this is when I really got deep into the robot and the backslide. Went through the blizzard of 81 and 82 in Denver. And that's where I started my first crew, Radioactive. And my crew is made up of the best guys from all different parts of Denver, which is not the best, but a lot of the best from Denver. Not from one neighborhood, but from different neighborhoods. And I would travel back and forth to Los Angeles every summer to visit my grandparents. So I was constantly getting the West Coast vibe flavors and bringing them east. And my father traveling around the United States, going East Coast. So I was getting all these different flavors at the same time. 86, breaking started dying down. I moved back to LA. And right around that time, I started looking for all the B-boys whoever was still around. Started a new crew called United We Stand with a guy named Freeze Rockin' Mark Ski, who's from the Bronx here in LA. And we wrote songs for Kid Frost's record and Mellow Man Ace. I choreographed Mellow Man Ace Mentirosa tour, and I'm on the back of his record. If you look at Mellow Man Ace's record, you'll see us on the back of it. So we were the Latin Alliance. At that time, 2 lawyers were handling all of the artists at the time in LA. So when I moved back, I became more involved in the rap scene. And so it was about not just breaking, but it was about keeping hip hop culture alive, doing a lot of graph throughout the years and producing beats. All these things were things that I was doing, not because I had to, but just because it was the lifestyle. And of course, being heavily into the fashion industry. So all these things kind of led up to me finding Divas Does at the Dougie Fresh Fenderella Hey Mr. DJ video shoot here in LA. And he helped me to find legs and everybody, because I'd go to New York every summer looking for everybody. And I found them, and they came to LA. I started the West Coast Rocksteady crew in all these different, from San Diego to San Francisco, LA. And then I left LA to be in Jam on the Groove, the Broadway show. It was called Get Original at first, and that traveled around the world. That's where I met Abstrak in Orlando at Disney World. But Jam on the Groove, that was all of us Rocksteady and rhythm technicians at the same time together in our first Broadway show. During that time, living in New York, I moved to Miami to produce a bunch of rap artists, Mongu, Mother Superior on Island Records, JT Money, 2 Live Crew, Half Pint, all kinds of Miami bass artists. During that time, I started doing the Pro-Am with Speedy Legs, and moved back to New York in 99 to finish the Get Jam on the Groove tour. My very last show was in Orlando, and I had a severed tendon. That's when I was chilling with Abstrak, I think. We went directly to Pro-Am 97 right after that, or Pro-Am 99, because that was the last year of Jam on the Groove, and then moved back to the West Coast. Got married in 2000. Well, we won the Korea World Cup in 99. These are all epic things. I'm going to try to make it short, man, but...
no, handle.
Yeah, the Korea World Cup was Ken Swift, Crumbs, Flo, Wicked, me, and Skeeter Rabbit, rest in peace, who he decided not to be on the team. We represented the United States in the first World Cup in Korea. We were called Team USA, United Skills of America, also aka the Dream Team. And the next year, 2000, I got married to a girl that I met at the Magic Trade Show in Vegas. Had my first daughter, right, not a year later, and moved back to San Francisco. Lived in San Francisco 5 years, then back to LA. And it's been a kind of whirlwind, doing all kinds of things. I produced the first Red Bull BC1 in America. I produced King of the Ring in Canada, Red Bull Beat Riders, all these different things for Red Bull Company when they were first launching. Same thing with a lot of other companies, Lipton and Sony and Coca-Cola and all these other companies. But over the years, I just started doing more teaching rather than producing events. Just going after the things that I do best. And I choreographed a bunch of cool things in Hollywood, like Step Up 3D, which I was just talking about earlier with Abstrak, because I was able to cast my own people for Step Up 3D, which is a really cool, interesting story about a lot of B-boys and B-girls getting to work in the industry that didn't have to go through the Hollywood machine. So there's a lot of cool things. And yeah, and over the years, it's just been pretty crazy. And currently just over 100 Zoom classes since March 13th, teaching in the LA Unified School District, just produced the B-Boy Summit, co-produced it with Asia. And yeah, man, a lot going on still. You can see right here, the B-Boys, the Gremlin toy. You can see it right there.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, my son's a toy maker, so we're gonna on it, just building, man. It's been crazy.
Oh, dope. Yo, that's amazing, man. Like, I mean, all these stories, I know each one of you guys has, like, you know, such rich history, and I think it's important personally, you know, us as a crew, we think it's important that we document our own stories, you know what I mean? Have these conversations. I wish, you know, we had more and more time. Each one of you guys deserves their own, you know, separate discussion forum, you know what I mean? But yeah, I appreciate you guys sharing these histories with us. I want to build off something Graham said, actually, which is, you know, you mentioned all the different things you've contributed to and dabbled in, not just the dance, but all the musical side, even, you know, the artistic side, writing. And for us as a crew, that's a big thing that we try to, you know, uphold, is just not just the dance, but the whole culture of hip hop, you know, all the elements of expression, really, but hip hop in particular, and doing them with style, you know what I mean? So I wanted to ask maybe Thesis and Abstrak and Gremlins as well, but Grems as well, but what role does other forms of expression play in your experience as a dancer? You know what I mean? Things outside of dance, whether related to hip hop or not.
I mean, my culture, my native culture in general has like a big, like, just artistic background, you know. I mean, I don't know I think some of you guys have some native descent in you guys too. I'm not really sure, but but yeah, you know, if you grow up native, I grew up on the reservation, you know. That's pretty much where all my friends were from, and I didn't live on the reservation, but that's where I would go. And pretty much, like, I don't know, I just always looked at like art as kind of like one thing, because for me, like, from when it comes to dancing or making jewelry, or, you know, just kind of just appreciating other artists, and you know, obviously for me, I'm a dancer, so the musicians and stuff like that. It was always just more like I got the same feeling off of any different kind of art form that I got from dancing also. You know what I mean? So I kind of look at it all like as one thing. And me, I mean, I'm mostly a dancer. You know, that's just who I am. In my soul, I'm just mostly a dancer. I've tried all elements of hip hop. I've practiced writing. Catch me in a late night cypher, I might be rapping. I might be getting down. Overall though, but I mean, overall, like, when it comes down to like music in general, just music is just like what taps my soul, what energizes my soul. So I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but like a lot of songs that like Lean Rock be playing or Fleg be playing and stuff like that, or Bless be playing, is because I send them these songs because I'm always searching for music. So for me, I just get a kick off of music. But for me, like, growing up, obviously as a dancer, it was the crews like Sour Patch, like Style Elements. Like, you guys were the ones that like really made me kind of like what Abstrak was saying, like, feel okay to be different, you know, like to feel okay to venture off into different avenues of life. And you know, that's how I just got into dancing in general. Like, it's not even just breaking, like house dancing, and you know, any kind of dance form for me. Like, I don't bash on it because it's obviously it's just from the same family of feeling. You know, everyone has their own way, to each his own, has their own way of feeling, to be an expressionist. You know, so for me, the way I look at it, like that, I use the opportunity that we have as breakers to influence ourselves off of different dance styles and different movements. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about breaking in general, because or just hip hop in general, because we you know, we experiment. Like, that's what we do. We experiment. You know what I mean? We don't have, like, we have our foundation, you know, we have our fundamentals, but after we get that, that's when we just kind of, you know, do what we want with it. You know what I'm saying? And I always respected that that code and the honor that we have, you know, as artists. So overall, man, like, it's just all a big inspiration. You know, hip hop, man. Hip hop, there's no rules, man. We break the rules, we bend the rules, you know, and that's what makes it dope. You know what I mean? So, I mean, overall, I'm just open to everything. But it's my native background that really, like, keeps me open to, like, what the culture is all about. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. That's what it comes down to, right? That's what it comes down to, is culture. Like, we're all, you know, we're on this culture.
For sure. Yeah, man. Anybody else want to, you know, share a little bit?
Oh, yo, Midus, by the way, check it out. Look, check it. I got it right here.
What is it?
I got it right here.
Oh, so you have that? Damn.
I got it.
I gotta
right
get
here.
that. Bro.
Hey, next time you're in Seattle, we gotta watch this shit.
I need that, bro. Yeah.
I'll try to burn one for you.
Please, bro. That's what's up. But yeah, anybody else wanna?
Yeah, I'll say a couple things. Yeah, I like what Thesis said. Like, we experiment, and it's true. Like, I think because we are creative beings. We try to delve into any type of, like, creativity, right? So obviously, like, you know, maybe our strong point is dancing, movement, you know, because that's our meditation. That's how I see it, you know. I've always been drawn to the drum, always. You know, you tend to question that, you know, like, oh, you know, why am I so drawn to the drum? Really, you know, like, when you hear it, it's like boom, you know, like your chest wants to expand and you want to react to it. And it's funny because I think, like, last year I did, like, the whole 23andMe testing, and it said that I have, like, native background. Not sure if it has to do with that, but I definitely can say that, you know, I've always felt like the dancers, and especially b-boys, like, we're like that last tribe of tribal people, because you know, we're going into the future, and people just, like, they just think about work, and they're just getting ready to just be, you know, a family. They have their family unit, and then everything else is forgotten. Like, you know, the past, how our ancestors celebrated certain events, whether it's, you know, death or life, right? So, and in that respect, I mean, I tried everything, man. You know, like, I love dancing house. I feel like it's more, you know, it helped me in my dance. It helped me be a little more fluid with my breaking, my steps. Popping, I love popping. It's like, if I can't break, you know, at 50, 60, you know, I'll just pop. You know, I probably won't be the best popper, but at least I'm in it, you know, like, because I love music forever. You know what I'm saying? So I used to do a lot of music. I used to write a lot, not write, but I used to produce a lot of music. Wasn't, I wish I would have continued. I could still do it, but it's just not my priority at the moment. And then, you know, because I just love, you know, visual artistry, you know, I'm into video now, you know what I'm saying? So I want to capture story, whether it's somebody that's a spoken word artist or somebody that's a dancer. So, I mean, I think we all can tap, I think we have so many different talents hidden within us, you know, that we could be really good at, but, you know, maybe 2 or 3 might shine, right? So I definitely pull from a lot of different sources other than dance. You know, it could be as simple as a sound, you know, like, as funny as it sounds, I used to, like, try to, I was like, let me put on, like, ambient music and oceans and something really silly, you know, like, and I was like, let me see if I can move to that. you know, because if I'm a dancer, I can move to anything, you know. So yeah, like I've always tried to, you know, experiment with all types of stuff, even spoken word, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow,
That's what's
wow,
up.
that's dope. Grams,
That's
man,
cool.
if you wanna, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting that this conversation and this question is leading us to kind of having this a different reality. But yeah, I just did my DNA maybe a couple months back, and I found out that I'm basically a third Native American. So
Wow.
it's really interesting that we're all talking about this type of synergy and based on us and hip hop and art and things like that, which is really cool. So I'm actually really glad that there's some things like this are said, because, you know, there is a lot of things that have been conversation lately that have been what I consider old conversation and almost common knowledge. And so remember, we live in a world that celebrates one thing at a time, which does not mean that you can't be a part of so many different things to be a complete person. And complete people, like, you know, whatever you do to trade off your time for half of the cup to be like paid or whatever it is, the other half is being content. And being content is that other thing, that unspoken thing that we all love music or are driven towards music because it's soothing. And like, you know, it's this balance that we all have to have. So, you know, I've heard so many people talk about their expression with music and with art in all these different ways. But if you think of it, all of these are just so many different ways of expressing ourselves in and none of them are actually like pinpointing who we are. They're just ways of expressing ourselves. Like Ab was just mentioning about like loving popping, and it doesn't matter if you're the best at something. What matters is that you love it and you're participating and you're part of it as a living organism, like the life of it. And so, you know, when I think of the arts, I think of them as visual and audio, and they go together in this new concept. I was around managing my first dance studio IDA when the 360 contract was invented. And I was like, yeah, this is something I knew that was going to happen a long time ago, because your face, your name, your image, your talent, your services, they're things that add up. And so the level for me, like I've always known b-boys as being someone, or b-girls as people that appreciate all the elements of hip-hop culture, not just because they break. Because they break means that they're dug in deep. Remember, to find hip-hop culture, like let's just say the world is on this level, the street level. You dig a hole to find hip-hop culture. You dig another hole to find real hip-hop culture. Then you dig another hole and you finally find like b-boys and b-girls. So when you go that far down, that b-boys and b-girls already have a lot of good taste in music, and they know the difference between hip-hop as in rap music and hip-hop's inspirations of soul and funk and disco era. So these are all things that we don't talk about much because we've all grown up this way. But other people, when they see us from the outside in, we're not studio dancers that just came in 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you learn how to dance. No, we live it. And you've been playing these breaks. Like look at Thesis just says he's always looking for another beat. You know why? It's because he's trying to constantly build his repertoire of rhythm, musicality, and movement. It's not just one or the other. It's all that makes you like, you know, you grow older. You also grow like more tasteful, and you know your taste changes as you get older, and what you do with your time is a reflection of who you are and how much you do with the time also. So these are things like, I don't turn it off. I'm 360, 100% hip hop. I make beats right here, DJing right here, doing graph. And I just did a COVID mask for some young kids to show them in my class. Like, look at now, on, bam. Like, you know, so it's just clowning, man, like taking things to a new level. So I love when guys are open like that. In Style Elements alone, I've made rap records, DJ performances, b-boy performances, all style hip hop performances. Like, you know, like when Wicked and Crumbs went with me to Japan, we did the Golden Triangle, and each of us had to rhyme, then DJ, then break, then the next time a different style, you know, Brooklyn rock. So like, you know, like this is being versatile, and this is like, it's in our DNA, it's in all of us, because some people can say, oh, I just do one thing, but b-boys and b-girls, we have a little bit more like time invested, so that means that you have more knowledge in these other elements. You can ask a b-boy who's your favorite rapper, and you probably would agree that with what they say, because it comes from a certain taste.
Word. Yo, that's dope. Yeah, I mean, kind of building off of that too, like, because you mentioned, we don't talk about this stuff too much. We kind of grew up with it, but I want to get you guys up in this today. I know, I mean, at least from my perspective, Thesis is probably the closest to like today's generation. You know what I mean? And I don't know if people feel like there is. Well, I'll ask you guys. Like, what are your thoughts about where things are going, as far as the breaking scene in connection to the other elements of the culture? There is. We see separation of elements more and more, in my opinion. Not to say that's necessarily a good or bad thing. Want to just put that out there, get your guys' thoughts on it. And also the dance, I mean, just in this competition that we're having for our anniversary, we got people from Japan, we got people from Russia, we got people from South America, like all over the world basically, which is amazing, and I think you guys are big parts of that. I think Style Elements is a big part of how that came to be. So I want to just get your guys' thoughts, like, where do you see the culture going, as far as breaking connected to the bigger culture and breaking itself with all the things happening around the dance nowadays? I think you're muted, Thesis. Can't hear you, brother. Maybe if anybody else wants to chime in the meanwhile.
You want to go on it, app, or want to hit it?
Yo. Yeah, I don't think we can hear Thesis yet. Hopefully that gets fixed.
That's weird.
Where do I think? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know where it's going. It's like, what I can say is I do love the fact that we can take this dance anywhere we want to, because, first of all, we do it in a Cypher, right? And that's the most important thing, because there's energy there. But we can take that energy and put it in a theater, and for me, I say that because I love theater, and this is when Grems mentioned Gem on the Groove, like at the time, 99, me and my crew, we paid like, I think it was like 60, maybe $90 each just to go see them perform, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to just be a dope b-boy dancer. I want to be able to perform and captivate people with the movement, because to me, to this day, and even if life goes on 3,000 years, I feel like breaking is still a futuristic dance, no matter what. It's the most difficult, to me, hardest dance anybody could do. So, you can take it to the theater, you can take this anywhere, so like when you subject it to just competition and the big stage, it's cool. I like that there's that, people get opportunities, but sometimes, there are certain b-boys that want to express in a different platform, Now, as far as like where is it, where it's heading, I have no idea, and that's the beauty of it, Some people might have an idea, but I really don't. So it's amazing to see how far we all can take it, how the younger generation, how far they're going to take it, and vice versa.
Word
up.
Thank you, man. Word
Yo, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead, Gremlin. Do your thing. I'll go after
and
you.
maybe you can elaborate what I'm about to say, because this is something that you can probably bear witness to, or you can actually maybe even give some clarity to. But so there's two things that are happening, and one thing is, since the 360 deal thing has happened, everything's been about branding. Even though we've been branding all our lives as promoters and producers since I was very young, the whole world all of a sudden uses this word branding. And the word branding, they kind of mean just keep doing the exact same thing that got money the first time. And so like producers that make many types of beats, They make one beat and it makes them money, so they just keep making the same beat. DJ Mustard, anybody, Dr. Dre, they all have the same sound for a reason, because it's branding. Now, the same thing is happening in all parts of hip hop culture, is all these branding things that are going on. So people are either part of the brand or not part of the brand. And then the brand has rules and regulations. Like if you want to compete at this competition, it's not just a battle, it's a competition, and you have rules because that brand is different from this brand. And so that the concept of branding like that will take people that train. See, remember, breaking is the duality between artistry and athleticism. You put them together and you get an athletic artist. But unfortunately, with technology comes systematic learning. In hip hop, we say, whatever you do in hip hop, don't do whatever I do because that's biting, and don't do it twice because that's repeating. Now we're in a world of keep doing the same ass shit because branding says so. Just do a head spin in my movie. Just do a head spin in my movie. Just keep doing a head spin in my movie. The next movie, all right, do another head spin in this movie because it's branding. So this is what's killing us as artists, because the system says do it over again, do it over again. I need it again. Take 25. I have no more skin on my head. I can't head spin no more. So that's where you're killing that artistry in one way. The other way is play it again, play it again. Now movies, play it over and over on TV. You hate seeing your solo twice, much less 2,000 times. So this is what's happening with the culture versus the industry. The culture hates what they keep seeing, the repetitiveness. The industry is trying to make money off of it to build money and finance. So this duality is a big struggle. And selling out and not selling out means you're actually down, and then you do something to show that you're not no more, and that's the sellout. But if you're not down and you're commercial, then you're not a sellout. So these are things that are feeding into what you're talking about. Now, in what's happening now is the whole world is able to systematically learn on the internet, play it in slow motion. Oh, that's how you do the air flare. Oh, it's like a handstand, kick over, whatever it is. Now you have to be able to do 20 different types of the same move. Now that same thing is becoming a standard, and we're going through these different eras. It's a time warp of eras every 2 or 3 years. You're tired of seeing the same thing, so now we want to see variations or renditions. And so what's going to happen in the Olympics is they're going to make up, this is what you can do, but we want to do all this other stuff that's not on the list. So this is going to be a problem. The music will be a problem, because if you don't want to pay for publishing, then you're trying to get things for free. Whenever you try to get things for free in hip hop, it works against you. And whenever you just do things for free, it works against you, unfortunately, because everybody pulls out their camera. So these are things that are always in our midst, and that's why it makes people that are like heavy hitters not want to come out and play, or when they do, they don't even want to show their incredible stuff because they're like, everybody pulled out their camera. And so this is the era of the 90s. As we move into the 2000s, that camera era became the steal your video and steal your moves era, use it in competition era. After the 2010s, now we're in this no more artistry, it's just athleticism. So now it's organized competition when reigns supreme, because everybody needs to pay their bills. Rap artists don't hire b-boys to go on tour and do all that stuff very much. So there's not much of an ecosystem for dancers to do other than dog-eat-dog competition, amateur style. And so this is what we're given. It's the result of lack of respect from the government and the culture, lack of respect from all those people that make a lot of money in hip-hop culture, and a lack of support system from our own people, because we don't support each other. We don't clap for each other. We don't say, ooh, you're dope. We're like, if you're dope, you're like, get away from me. Watch out. And that's just how it is. You have to have thick skin in what we're doing, man. If not, you can't do this.
Yeah, that's big facts. Yeah, I respect that. I respect that a lot. I mean, for me, like as I was saying earlier, my microphone went off. I don't know why, but yeah, like I'm heavy in like the competition scene still. You know what I mean? I've been competing for a long time, and I'm still going in, and I've seen so many different changes. I've seen all the eras. Since I've been breaking, like all the eras, I've been seeing it, and the eras are getting faster. Like before, an era would change maybe 7 years, and then it started getting like faster. Like then it was like 5 years an era would change, and 3 years an era would change. Now it's like maybe sometimes not even a year. it changes, like, because everyone's always trying to, like, you know, always trying to grab like the next big thing. And for me, when I was younger, I definitely had a lot stronger opinion. You know what I mean, about how I felt, even if I didn't have like all the knowledge that I should have had. You know what I mean? I had like a strong opinion that I shouldn't have. So for me right now, what I'm in, you know, it's life out here. Like you say, you gotta have thick skin, but you have to also understand how to balance things too. So like for me, you know, I'm balancing my break-in, I'm balancing my job, I'm over here, you know, balancing health and everything that I and balancing having fun, and you know what I mean, and everything in life that just comes together. But for me, it's like it comes down to a point where, you know, you sometimes, like, when you do something too much, obviously it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, too much of anything isn't good, you know? So I've been breaking long enough for me to understand that it's okay to, you know, miss it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, like, I'll put it down for a while and focus on other things. Like, you know, I'll start writing for a while, for a week, and then I'll get back and I'll be like, oh shit, I got the new feeling again. And it's constantly growing. Like, I'm just constantly growing. But you have to, like, what is it, like, what is, like, one step forward or one step back, two steps forward. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what I like doing when it comes to down to my artistry, because it's true. Like, there is an athleticism approach to breaking, but, you know, obviously there's art too. And like you said, you know, they come together and it's just kind of naturally brings what you want to do. But for me, it's like I see people use their skills in a way as a brand, like you said, in a brand, right? For me, I'm the opposite. I just, I love breaking. I love breaking because I'm not, like, obsessed, you know what I mean? Like, in a bad way. I'm just passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, so when it really comes down to it, it's like, you know, I don't care about, you know, holding back on my props. Like, dude, if I see someone kill it, I'm like, oh shit, that motherfucker, he did something. He did something that made me feel like something, you know? And that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm gonna be like, hey dog, you know, let's link up, man. Let's get together. Let's practice together. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, dude, that's dope. Everyone's on their own road, killing it. That's what's up. Respect. And I'm gonna keep it real. That's super rare when that happens nowadays. It is super rare when I see someone actually make me feel something, and, you know, and I think it is the lack of respect, and I think it's the lack of respect not only just from the government, but also the lack of respect from the culture of the people that use their names as brands, or their styles as brands. And for me, like I said, I'm the total opposite. So I like to just grow and vibe out and learn, and, you know, constantly keep just going. You know what I'm saying? And, like, when I break, when I'm finding new music all the time, like you said, it's because I'm just constantly growing and finding new textures of what we do. You know what I mean? And just finding new feels of what we do. And I think that's one of the things that lacks in this culture right now, because everyone's just trying to get to the top, but there is no top. You know what I mean? I just did a post about perfection, and it's like, you know, if you find perfection and you become perfect, then you stop, you know, and you're never going to be able to keep growing. You know what I mean? So I find, like, perfection's a myth that we're just trying to create a reality. You know what I mean? But it's like, our reality or our perfection of idea, it's being overlooked, because perfection is not perfection. Perfection of what we think is right before perfection, and that's what we're trying to get. So that other thing don't even really matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even exist. So as we keep doing that, we keep building and we keep growing. You know what I mean? So everyone, like, with the artist mindset, will know that. You know what I mean? But, you know, when it comes down to just either picking one side or the other, that's already the downfall. And I see that a lot in the scene right now. Doesn't mean that a lot of these B-girls and B-boys aren't dope. Like, they're dope. You know what I mean? You can't front that these fools are sick. You know what I'm saying? But there's a substance that's missing. You know what I mean? There's a honor, there's a code, there's a respect that's missing, and that's what kind of takes away the growth. You know? And I think that for me, that's my problem, you know. And I'm like, you know, I meditate, I do yoga, I'm like super peaceful, and I'm like chill. But yeah, the things that bug me, you know, sometimes they leak into me and then start to consume how I'm feeling and how I'm acting, and that's the kind of thing that I don't want in my life right now. So I'm practicing on just, you know, just doing me and focusing on me. So like I think a lot of the things that people do wrong is that they focus on other people and what they're doing and what they could be doing instead of actually just focusing on themselves. And I tell a lot of people in my classes, I say, you know, you watch YouTube, you got all these things, but you're kind of using it the wrong way because you're always looking out when you should be looking in, you know. And that's how we're going to grow together as a culture. But you know, all we can do right now is just like spread our word and hope that, you know, the right person sees it and grows from it. But other than that, you know, we just got to stay on our own and just help each other, because, you know, the third eye is open, and when you see someone that knows, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it, at least. That's my word.
For sure, and that's why we want to have dialogues like this too. You know what I mean? Is it starts with conversations and knowledge and consciousness and building and sharing information, perspectives. You know what I mean? I think Grems, what you said about that duality between industry and culture. I mean, that's something that existed before hip hop, existed before us, and it will continue on. I mean, I could say for myself, like coming into the scene, we were taught, you know, to respect where this comes from. There's a difference between what you hear on the radio as so-called hip hop lives on this radio station, and it's just rap music, and the elements and the community. So, and what happened in the '80s with the dance. I mean, those were lessons we lived with as heads. As far as myself, you know, I could say that affected our generation when we were popping or breaking or doing any of these type of things. People, it's from the '80s, like so. Like I had already mentioned. So I think these are just lessons that are important. I think also what you guys are saying about the different avenues available with the dance is also important. It's not limited to one thing. The theater stuff Ab was talking about, and how Jam on the Groove, what the impact that had, which a lot of members of Style Elements, Remind and Crumbs in particular, were involved with too. So I think I want to also, you know what I mean, say one thing with today's generation. Like, I think a lot of them are, you know, I give them props for being socially conscious and talking about things besides just the dance, you know, talking about the protests, actions and happening, social justice issues. I think is really super interesting. Something that also existed in our generation too. But I mean, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that too. I mean, we're obviously going through a very strange year with the pandemic, the economic stuff happening, collapsing economies, unemployment, protests on the streets, George Floyd, like social justice activism, people bringing up issues like Graham said that might be old but also are still relevant sometimes, you know, other times maybe not. But I wanted to pass that question on to you, especially in these times we're living in. Like, what are your thoughts on just what's happening in society in general? You know, people always say like, hip hop, we're hip hop heads, like we should know where this comes from. But even if you're not, I mean, there's just, to any human being right now, like there's a lot going on. So
yeah,
if you guys have any thoughts about that, I wanted to, you know, put that on the table.
yeah. I don't want to get like too much into it. But you know, whatever's going on right now, you know, I mean, we come from a black culture. You know, hip hop is black culture, so we got to respect that. You know what I mean? And you know, I donate regardless, and you know, I show my love. I'm out there in the protests. You know, I don't know if you guys see me out there on my feed and stuff, but you know, I'm out there. We're out here. You know, and there's a big problem going on. Unfortunately, you know, we have this COVID shit going on too, and you know, people over there in the protests, you know, they're the ones getting COVID a lot right now because it's big groups, you know. So it's a crazy struggle within a struggle, and you know, it's luckily like we have technology that we can use for the better. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I'm just like, yeah, let's do this from afar. Let's do this from afar, guys. That's just my opinion on it. But regardless, like I respect everyone out there in the front line. I respect everyone out there like really, really doing it because like, yeah, like you said, man, like this is you know, in your generation, you've seen similar things. It's you know, it's newer for my conscience, my adult conscience. It's newer for me, so it's just kind of like these are the things I heard about when I was growing up, and now it's actually happening and again, and everything goes in cycles. But I do believe that we're gonna find peace, and I do believe as long as we just stay, in a good direction, I think everything's gonna be okay, and I think everyone's just gonna keep being fine. And that's all I gotta say about it. It's all love, respect, always, and we keep fighting, right? We're warriors.
Right on. Anybody else want to
read a little bit? App?
Yeah, just like these, I don't know if I want to go deep, but yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that what's going on. Things can, your opinion can either, destroy you or destroy you. So, pretty much, it's like, I almost feel like what's good is misunderstood, or like, even I think the world is upside down, really. Like I said, once this COVID thing happened, this is like the unveiling, of not even COVID, just the whole situation, the injustice, like it just unveiled a lot of people, and people are just angry, and it sucks because at the same time, I know that our culture, that what we live in and what we contributed to, it is peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
And then we're actually seeing the other side of that coin. I did support as far as like marching, but as far as like, when you find out what an organization is about, you kind of like take a step back. You're like, I don't know if I want to be part of this. You know what I'm saying? But I do respect, people. I respect, I just say people. I don't want to say color. Because honestly, if you see my family, fluctuates. Like you would see super dark to super white,
Right.
So yeah, it's a really touchy subject. And for me personally, I think what's more important is to find that peace within, however you can. I personally feel that it's God. Some people are not with that, and that's fine, But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that, but what I can say is that it's yeah, I just hope that people find real love, man, because that's what the world needs. We need real love, and we don't know how to express that. People get angry. It's like, can you just sit down and just have a conversation? You can get angry, but just in a calm way. It's just people just need to have conversations. Let people talk. Let that person be heard, and then you can say your piece. That's how it should be. But we have a double-edged sword in our mouth, and whatever is said, like I said, it could break you or it could break you.
I love that, Ed. That's dope. That's respect.
Ultimately, I hope that the world somehow, it's almost impossible, but somehow finds that type of love. To really persevere, man, and kind of like overlook everything that's happening. Like that is ego. It's all ego. And I don't know. People just need to be soft-hearted and just let people in. That's all I gotta say.
Right on.
Respect.
Thank you, man.
Well, I definitely won't keep it with elaborating on this for this subject, but there's a couple really important lessons to learn with what's going on, and Thesis and Abstrak both touched on a couple of those lessons. One, the first thing is, you feel like you're wrong if you do, if you're wrong if you don't, in terms of supporting or saying things, and those reasons and there's several reasons, but the most important reason is, if you're gonna, and I'm not saying people shouldn't say anything, but if you are gonna say something, then you should know a lot about what you're talking about. So people have said at the wrong time for the wrong reason, with the wrong, maybe with the right intent, but the wrong ways, and that is counterproductive for the people that were doing something. So all of this technical detail stuff about how to support has been made it for people that aren't into those details almost impossible for them to to be in support of something. And that's one thing. So that's kind of a terrible thing to know, that the details are more important than the mission. And that's kind of messed up, because we go back, for me, I'm 50 years old, and we boycotted Columbus Day since way back in the 80s. So all this stuff is like really late and really old news, like I mentioned before. All the stuff that's happening, we talked about it before. For over 15 years in the college system, I've been teaching Hip Hop 360, which is not history, it's our story. So now that gets to the other thing. We're in America, and there's 3 different types of English being used. And it's so mixed together, and nobody knows how to decipher between those 3. So we all need to go back and restudy English language, because it's being used against us. Sometimes for us, very seldom, but mostly against us. And that's like twisting words around and bending them to mean what you want. And there's words out there that we should use because of people bending them to make them mean something that they don't. Then, in addition to all of those things happening, like, it makes us not want to be a part of someone else's fight. And so when you get to what do we fight, how much time do you have to fight? How much fight do you have in you? I've been fighting the same fight for many years, since I have rich people, friends that are in the entertainment business, and all my friends are poor. So I know rich ones and poor ones, and I'm trying to figure out the feast and famine war. For years and years, we've been fighting the feast and famine war, which is at our front door, because if you don't get paid for what you do, you won't be doing it no more. You'll go do something else. And if you're doing something else, then you're not doing this. Then you have to ask yourself what you're doing with your time. Is that what you want to be doing with your time?
You know what I'm saying? But bringing it back to like the community thing, I think, you know, I give props to everybody involved in this discussion. You know, we could talk for hours. You know what I mean? I also want to say again, Fever, who wasn't able to join us, who was supposed to be with us. You know, I want to give a big shout out to him, because, you know, he's a pillar of the Seattle community. You know, and not just the Seattle community, but passing knowledge like about the stuff we're talking about. And you know, just there's a worldwide breaking scene today. You know, I think he's played a big role. Wish we could have had him in this discussion. But, you know, with that said, I want to just, you know, give you guys each a chance to say any last words, shout outs, plug anything you're involved in.
Fever, you should have just came to my crib, dog. Hey,
he actually has some family stuff too. I want to say that too. He has some family stuff, and he was really trying to be on this call. He was out of town and still tried to make it, and that's why he wasn't able to. He was in some difficult circumstances. But props to him for giving it a shot, and props to you guys for being in here with us, man. It's a big honor, like I said. So yeah. Any last words?
Yeah. Just to end it off on a good positive note. I just want to tell a story. Style Elements story. All right, so one time we was chilling, right? This was like 2012 or something. We was chilling at my crib. It was after Reign Supreme, or was it after Massive Monkeys?
It was like after Massive Monkeys.
After Massive Monkeys? Yeah. Get in here.
Oh, fuck
no? All right. So anyway, it was after Massive Monkeys anniversary, and I had an after party at my crib, and Ariston was there. And we were chilling. The people that don't know who Ariston is, remind. He was there, and I was chilling with my guy Tim right here, right?
What up?
And we were having anyway, this is Tim the Pit, Massive Monkeys. If you don't know, now you know. We were chilling, and I was just kind of like, yo, man, like, you know, I was like, hey, I think the only motherfucker that give you a run for your money is Tim the Pit. I think Tim the Pit could get your ass in a battle, Riston.
Nah, dude. But like,
no.
You were drunk.
I was,
but you were like
out of line.
I was like, stop. I was like behind, like, stop. And this guy was like, Tim will fucking smoke you, like this, and he kept on saying it over and over again. And I'm like behind him. I'm like, dude, like, stop.
I regret it to this day.
Like,
but yo, this guy was like,
embarrassing.
This
dude.
guy's like this the whole time. And then Remind, he gets up, he stands up, he goes, nah, I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you. And he goes, but it's all good. And starts playing his flute.
But like the funny part about it is there was like 10 b-boys in the room at the time when he was doing it.
Yep.
This fool got up like this, and like every b-boy, they weren't even part of the conversation. He said, "I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you, I'll smoke you."
Anyway, that's my Style Element story. But other than that, man, it's all love. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. I just want to say, you know, I'm gonna be battling in the Style Elements anniversary online battle. So tune into that. It's gonna be dope. There's like a crazy lineup, man. It's like on some like BC1 level kind of shit. We're gonna vibe out. We're gonna wild out, and overall, you know, everyone out there that's going through whatever they're going through, whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, I pray for the best. I send my love. I send my blessings to every single person that's living in this earth and in this time right now, because all we do, like you said, Gremlin and Abstrak, we need each other. You know, we all need each other, and we need to support each other. So that's all I got. But yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Seattle. I'm gonna go enjoy it. I respect you guys so much, Gremlin and Abstrak. You guys said some so incredible things, so many incredible things, and you've shifted my perspective. You've had you know, inspiration, and you gave me inspiration. And Midus, man, love you to death. Next time you come to Seattle, we're gonna watch that DVD, The Street Dreams.
I need that.
We're gonna have a good time. But other than that, man, I hope everyone stays blessed, and thank you again. It's an honor to be a part of the Style Elements panel. Much love.
Yo, yeah, I want to say thank you very much, Style Elements, for having me on this. Definitely an honor. I never would expect this. So, you know, happy anniversary. I hope you guys have an amazing anniversary and more to come.
Thank you.
And I also want to give a shout out to Grems for just being part of that. How should I say? Just being part of like that movement that inspired me as a young b-boy, and definitely much props to Thesis. He's still killing it to this day, and I think that should be an inspiration for older heads and younger heads moving forward. That's pretty much it, and I still believe that ultimate peace will be found within you. I believe that's God. I pray for everybody that, you know, in the world, even in the community, to find that peace, and hopefully I could get to connect with, you know, everybody else on a more intimate level.
Respect,
yes, sir.
Man. Respect. Grams.
Cool. So first, I want to say happy anniversary to all the members of Style Elements. I know you guys met for mad years, probably when you were first coming up. And seeing you go through the transitions in life and being able to travel with you guys around the world. Many of you, some of you have been staying in my crib in different cities I lived in the whole nine. But I want to say peace and respect for all you guys keeping it. You know, you've been keeping it 100 for a long time, keeping it crew when the crew era already had dissolved. So that's a big respect as well. And, you know, I know that there's a lot of talk out there making people feel like they're not part of hip hop culture in the way that they should. And you know, from my voice to your ears, that hip hop has always been about skill level. You put in the time and the energy, and you can build your skill level, and you get your respect, and then you have family around the world. And that's what real hip hop culture is and always will be. And I want to say that you can reach out to me at any time, so we can build. I'm still doing it, still doing the same thing, different day, different number, but always the same mission. And thank you guys for holding this panel. It's good to see Thesis. It's good to see Ab. I was hoping to see Fever, but you know, Fever was my roommate in the Bronx for a while too. So, you know, I have intimate stories with all these guys. I was just in New York. I think the last thing that we did before this attack happened was in New York, and I was with Thesis. So, you know, it's mad love seeing all you guys. It's always good to talk and debate. And remember, we're looking for the whole truth, not just the truth that's given. Keep searching, keep looking and learning, and put the pieces together, pieces of the puzzle together, and then look for the origins of that piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And there's more truth out there. Our story has to be told. Latino history is humongous, and once you guys hear the Latino history, you could even see it on John Leguizamo's Broadway show now. So
Yes,
don't
it's
give
amazing.
up on what you think is the hidden truths that are out there. A lot to learn still, guys. Keep your mind open. Let's keep it 100 like that. You know, Grams.
Respect. Yeah, no, I want to ditto that and definitely keep learning. And I want to say for me, because I'm chiming in when I really don't want to. I want to hear from you guys. But yeah, man, I'm here to learn, and I'm learning just hearing you guys. So even with stuff I say, my mind is always open, and I agree 100%. We gotta always keep building and questioning and learning more and digging, like Graham said. So, and like Ab said, man, it's all about love. We do need to keep that love in our. Love is a powerful thing that people underestimate, and this community has given us a lot. The dance has given us a lot. So you guys have given us a lot, man. Respect to you guys once again. Thank you for being part of this. It's a major blessing.
Hey Gremlin, I got my toy too. I'll be out here.
Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah.
All right, buy my shit, guys. I'm gonna make the thesis rip soon. The pickle thesis. Tin the bed. Thanks for being here. All right, I gotta go. Love you guys, man. Stay up.
Peace, man. Everybody enjoy the rest of the anniversary. Thank you for rocking with us. All the audience tuning in, listening. That's gonna be tuning in, listening. Respect to everybody out there, and stay tuned for what's next with Style Elements 26th anniversary. One love. Peace out.
One love, y'all. Peace.
All right, hope you enjoyed that panel as much as I did. We're not going to waste any more time and get straight into the SuperDave Powermove Cypher Battle Prelims. We had 16 entries from 9 different countries. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I got something for you. I got something for you. Threat.
God, those were some dope rounds. SuperDave is going to have a hard time picking the top 8. We're going to be doing the Powermove Cypher battle a bit later, but right now we're going to spread a little bit of Style Elements love. Enjoy these short videos, and we'll be right back.
The graffiti writer was making the letter dance. The nastiest graffiti writers would take letters and warp them and flip them. And then you made it dance.
Style Elements crew, there are footprints at the crime scene. My rhyme scheme is photographic to your memory. Yes, yes, the rhythm, the enemy. Style Elements, the entity, and my identity is Boss Swan, the verbal incredible, wild style. And yo, it's not legible to the eye. I'm aerial on tracks. My soul is in control, cause I boogie like the brats. Came here, I make like head spins flying in my steps into your sound decks, about to catch wreck. In circles, I'm on fire. What up? Then I chill like Sly Stone and I wanna gonna take you higher. Jimmy Castor, footwork fanatic, a flow master, getting wicked on you bastards. When I kick it, I stick it. I top rock windmill, Halo 90 into crickets. I'm swift like Kenny, mini, challenge, damage, anybody. We boys be making circles when we step inside the party. Crazy styles like I'm Ivan and I don't come sloppy. I break the drums down to crumbs. Seems like a freestyle session, but it ain't cross one. The name Boss Swan gets it popping like Pete, and I make your body wiggle when I'm skied on these beats. The floor gets warm like I'm Storm, and I jam on the groove when I perform. Continuing the fable, y'all know I'm able to rock steady. DST is on the turntable. Bobito owns a label, get the party on lock. I spin my wrist, point, pause, grab my jock, then I hop. Turn my head, look back, forward. A renegade rocker, battling in floor wars, causing havoc. I'm on track too, a B-boy like the nigga twins, freezing on your crew. A dynasty rocker, a Don Campbell locker. It becomes a media circus when articulated proper. English makes my rhymes expand. I be like Rubber Band Man. I pop and hit like I'm Taco with this mic in my hand. Yo, I'm dangerous. And lyrically I twist or flex, so dig this. I do a one-arm handstand, grab my leg, land in the splits. Got gizmos like a bag of tricks. Your phone puff daddy, B-boys be feeling this. B-boy, 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 B-boy.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those SEC videos. That was Boss One Foot Crimes and the Style Elements Queens, Pandora and Marie Poppins, getting down. I want to take a moment to let y'all know about the SEC 26 raffle we got going on. Any t-shirt purchase made on sixstep.net by the end of day 2 will be entered into a raffle to win 2 free t-shirts. The winner will be announced September 6th at Six Step Inc. Instagram. It's about time to get into the prelims for the 1v1 break-in. we had 140 entries from 38 countries. The judges broke it down to a top 32. We're going to show those top 32 prelim go-downs, and we're going to be announcing the top 16 after the Powermove Cypher battle. Let's check out these world-class breakers.
Isha.
Yo, what's good, everybody? We made it to the SuperDave Powermove Cypher battle. This is Style Elements 26th anniversary, and I am your host, Spirit Realmer. Check this out. We just finished watching the top 32 1v1 prelims, and once this bracket is over, I'm going to be sharing with you who made it into the top 16 for tomorrow's event. So let's keep it moving. We had 16 entries worldwide, all bringing high-level content for this power battle, and our judge, SuperDave, brought it down to a top 8. But due to scheduling, we got a top 7. We had some people fill in, and we want to make some honorable mentions to our man, Gromlin from Russia.
We're jumping into this power battle. Every year we have a power move battle, giving love to the people that fly the friendly skies, the specialists. One of my favorite parts of the event, and today we got top 7 in the world right here, so you're in for a treat. I'm gonna stop talking. Let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, we need to introduce our man of the hour, our judge. He's a true 90s power innovator and a member of Style Elements Monster Squad, SuperDave. If you don't know who SuperDave is, check out this dope clip and let's get familiar.
Thanks, Spirit Realmer. I want to give a big shout out to my family, the crew, everybody that was able to make it, everybody behind the scenes. Can't wait to get this 4th Power Move session going. Let's get it started. Back to you, Spirit.
You heard it from the man himself, so let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and introduce our competitors for the top 7 Power Move Cypher bracket. First up, coming all the way from Kazakhstan, we have your man, Krot. There he is, he's looking ready to go. That's what's up. All the way from Colombia, we have Conejo. Your man with the ears looking fresh. All right, coming straight up from Mexico, your man representing, we have Gato. Looking fresh, let's go. Straight up Venezuela, we have Alvin. Where you at, Alvin? There you go, Alvin looking ready. Let's go. Next up on our list, we have from Japan, Ryo-Spin. Where you at, Ryo-Spin? Your man looking fresh, ready to go. Next up, number 6 on our list, all the way from Syria, we have Somar. Your man giving us a nice fresh close-up of his shirt. Let's go. And last but not least, all the way from Russia, we have Danny Rock. There you go, your man with a piece. All right, y'all, let's not waste any more time and get straight up into this fire top 7 Cypher. We're about to pass the music to your man, DJ Crumbs. Crumbs, you know what to do. Hit him with the fire. Let's go.
Let it off, I can set it off. Get it off, let it off, I can set it off. Get it off, let it off, I can set it off. Get it off, let it off, I can set it off. Get it off, let it off, set it off. Get it off, let it off. that. Come on.
That was some super fire rounds, but only 4 dancers can move on into the top 4. We're about to bring it on to our very qualified judge, SuperDave. Who you got moving on into the top 4?
All right, that was nasty. So I like first off Alvin, and second I like Denny Rock and Conejo and Gato.
Yeah. And your man SuperDave has picked the top 4. We got Conejo from Colombia. We have Gato from Mexico. We have Alvin from Venezuela. And Danny Rock all the way from Russia. We're about to start with Conejo from Colombia. So let's not waste any more time. DJ Crumbs, hit him on the head. Let's go. My goodness, those were some fire rounds, y'all. That was the top 4. Of course, we're about to see who's going into the championship round. So we got to pass it to the man of the hour, our judge, SuperDave, who is moving on into this last round.
That was definitely fire. Thank you, Spirit. So a little difficult, but I like Conejo and Alvin. That's my choices.
And there you go, SuperDave has picked our 2 finalists for the championship round. We're about to go into this last battle and see who's going home with the title of the SuperDave Powermove Cypher Battle Champion. So let's get straight into it. So listen up, dancers. It is 1 round each, and we're about to get this going. DJ Crumbs, you know what to do. Hit him with the final beats. Let's go. And there you have it. That was the championship round. Of course, it's not up to us. It's up to our very qualified judge, SuperDave. SuperDave, who you got taking home the title?
Woo, those were both fire. I got to give it to both Conejo and Alvin. Both were very detailed in what they were doing, but I thought Alvin took it. He was a little bit more cleaner and more precise in his power. I want to give a big shout out to both of them for taking the time to do this, but I give it to Alvin. Thanks, you guys.
You heard it. We got Alvin, the Style Elements 26th anniversary SuperDave Powermove Cypher champion. And your boy is going home with $300, 6-step gear, a tribal gear, a bump box, and a Style Elements care package. Let's go ahead, send it to your boy. We're about to take the camera all the way to Alvin. Alvin, let us know how you feeling and if you got any shout outs. What's going on?
You win.
Ya. Bueno, hermano, estoy feliz y contento por este logro. Primeramente le doy gracias a Dios por la oportunidad y a ustedes por apoyar al evento y apoyar a mucha gente con este grandísimo evento que hicieron. Verdad que me alegro por Conejo, es un buen contrincante y que bueno, vamos por más.
There you go. You heard it from the champion, Alvin. But as promised, I'm about to be announcing the top 16 for tomorrow's 1v1 break-in bracket. Here we go. We got Hijack all the way from Hawaii, 808 Breakers. Next up, we got Costo from Russia, top 9. Milky Rock from Russia, OBC Crew. Icy Ives, reppin' Alaska from Rock Force. Jeffro from Texas, Rad Crew. Lorenzo from the Netherlands, reppin' Fresh All-Stars. We have Chorito from Russia, Original People. Check this out, we have the returning champion from last year's Style Elements, Ayumi from Japan, representing Body Carnival. Next up, we got Toa from Japan, Body Carnival. Thesis from Seattle, Knuckleheads Cali. Little G from Venezuela, Speedy Angels. Madman from Korea, Fusion MC. Zip Rock from Russia, Action Man Crew. Killer Koya from Kazakhstan, Simple System Crew. Grom from Russia, Outstanding Crew. And last, for our top 16 for tomorrow's event, we have Amir from Russia, Predators Crew. There you have it. Those are the top 16 competitors. Frankie Flay, go ahead and throw up on the screen the bracket for tomorrow's top 16 1v1 breaking battles. And of course, let's not forget to mention our sponsors that helped us along the way. We have Hint, Water, Bump Box, Stance, 6-Step, Originality Stands Alone, Tribal Streetwear, Little Box of Hope, UDEF, and Pro Breaking Tour. Of course, we got some special thank yous out to our Style Elements Crew DJ, Mr. Crumbs, for bringing on that fire all day. We want to make sure we say thank you to SuperDave, our judge, and a nice honorable mention to Frankie Flav, operating the technical support to make everything look smooth. We want to thank Midus and Starving Artist for the tech work on the panel, and our panelists, Thesis, Fever One, Zulu Gremlin, and Abstrak. I am your host, Spirit Roamer, and it's been a blessing rocking with you. We're going to be seeing you tomorrow for the 1v1s. Peace.
Monster Squad, deactivate.